Hey kids, welcome back to Worth the Spin. Thanks for joining me again this episode, we'll say. I am your host, Jack. Just Jack. Alright, today we're going to make a little bit of a switch. Instead of talking about the Beatles, we're going to talk about another band. What, you say? Hey, it's crazy, I know. But that was the original intention of this channel, is to talk about many different bands, not just the greatest band in the world. So, let's talk about one of the other greatest bands in the world. I'll throw it out there. Alrighty, we're going to talk about supposedly slow dramatic pause there. Alright, today we were talking about Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes live at the Greek. So, history on this one. I'll tell you what kind of history I know on this, which is not a lot. There's not a ton of history on this one. Not a lot of backstage stories and stuff like that that I've really been made aware of over the years. So originally this album was released as a CD only, and this was back in February of 2000. When it originally was introduced, it was musicmaker.com exclusive, so you can only get it from musicmaker.com, obviously. So it was there was two editions, yet they were different CDs. They were single CDs. So you had one that was pretty much the same cover. It was this, and it was black. And then you had the other one, which same thing, and it was white. So you could buy one or the other or both. So just making it a double CD, they made it two single CDs and charged a little bit more. Makes sense, why not? I got both CDs, of course. So you could, at the time, you had two options. You could either buy the CDs and musicmaker.com. But I thought this was pretty cool. I thought this was a neat little gimmick. You would get the CDs, and it would be in the order that they put the songs in musicmaker.com, or Black Crowes and Jimmy Page, whoever picked the order. And I'm assuming the running order was probably similar to what it was at the show. Or you had the option to pick the songs yourself how you wanted them on the CD. So you could buy both one CD or both. So you could have just one CD with whatever, say, I don't remember the exact songs that were on it from back then. I don't have those CDs anymore. They're long gone. But you could make one CD with all the songs that you wanted. And your choices were just the songs that were Led Zeppelin. There weren't any Black Crowes music on there at the time because of copyright issues. So it was only Led Zeppelin stuff. So you could have put the order on there and just picked whatever your favorite Zeppelin songs that were at that time and had a CD of just that. Or you could both CDs and then mix it up with all the, pretty much, not all the Led Zeppelin songs. I don't remember the full track list from those two CDs. It's been so long ago. But you didn't get everything on those two CDs. That would have been stupid, because had you had that chance, you wouldn't have bought the one down the road that they released a few months later as a double CD, which had all of the Led Zeppelin songs on it. Who would have thought they would have tried that money grabbing scheme? I didn't buy that second one. I put the money into it for the first set, and I'm like, what? I am not buying another one all over again. That is bologna with cheese. So it was pretty cool. It was a great CD. It's just Black Crowes and Jimmy Page doing Led Zeppelin songs just worked perfect. It just perfect. The only other person I think that pulled that off was David Coverdale. He worked with Jimmy Page there for a little bit, and I thought that was a perfect pairing there too. So it's a tough little field to get in. When you do Led Zeppelin, that's tough. Hart pulled it off with Stairway to Heaven amazingly, and I've just not heard a lot of other bands, performers do Led Zeppelin and give it true justice. But that's just my opinion. I don't really like Beatles covers by other bands either, other than a handful of them. So now, 25 years later, we have released, and this has been out for a little bit. I've got this probably a month or so ago, and this is not a cheap box set, and I did use some trade in order to cover the cost of this. I always suggest, if you got albums you aren't listening to or CDs you ain't listening to, this sitting on a shelf getting dusty, take them in, turn them in, get something out of them. It's another thing why I'm more for physical media than downloads. If you stream something, you're just paying for something that's just gone. Period. It's in the air. Even if it's downloads and you download it, I've had that with, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, Google Play, who I spent quite a bit of money on for movies and TV shows and stuff, and then they decided, well, we're not going to run this service anymore, so you have X amount of time to download these to some other service or you're going to lose them. And even though I tried to get them all with their goofy method that they had transferred over, I lost a lot of them. So that's why I am a big fan still of physical media. You buy it, you own it. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can edit it while you're listening to it. It's yours, period. And even if, let's say, hey, I'm bored with this box set. I want to get rid of it. I take it to my local record store and I go, we'll give you $10 trade for it. Yeah, rip off you. I wouldn't do that, but let's say that it's $10. I still get $10 off of whatever it is I'm going to buy versus spending all that money to download this and say, well, I'm done with it. I'm not going to listen to it anymore. I just delete it out and it's gone. And yeah, I know, technically, it's still there. You can always re-download it again. But I have a lot of music, too, that I got from a certain service. And I won't throw anybody under the bus. Google Music, that is gone, that I bought and not been able to download because they decided they weren't going to support that anymore. And it's just gone. And that's, and even though I downloaded it, it disappeared from my thing. How all that works, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a technical guy. I'm sitting here talking to a phone that's hooked up to like all kinds of things going on here. But, physical media. I can't stress it enough. Physical media. It's something that's dying off more and more and more. And physical media. Alrighty, done with that soapbox. I gotta get rid of these soapboxes that keep piling up down here in this basement. Alright, let's talk about this Excelente release. So this is an Excelente release. This is the front cover, which if you bought the CD back in the day, that's the cover that you got. And we'll take a look at the back cover, and the back cover lists the songs that are on here. I'll do just kind of a little deal. And this edition, of course, includes the Black Crowes songs that were performed at the time. So it's a nice little slipcase box that it comes in. Record comes out. I found, got lucky, I bought some sleeve protectors that are made for this style of boxing, but they do not fit very well, and they don't want to fit to where you can pull the albums out. They want you to do it this way, and you have to take this off every time you go to get them out. And I spent 15 minutes trying to get this on, and I did, and it didn't rip. Not an easy task. Okay, so that's your box. You pull that out of there, and this is your goodies you get inside. And I like this. I like this nice little pull-out thing tray. I wish more releases were like this that are box sets. Everything's housed in here nice and neat. You just slide it right out, and you can slide it right back in. The only thing I don't like is that it doesn't have on this side what's on here. So when you put it in your shelf, if you put it in there, you're putting it in this way, so you can't just pull the records out. You got the whole thing off the shelf. I know, that seems like a lot of work, I guess. I don't know. Alrighty, so what do you get in here? Well, you get some Excelente music. Plus you get a little mini poster, and which not a big fan of, because as a kid I know what paint posters are. And then you decide you want to move them. You just more tape and more pens, and before long you're just chucking it. So, but this is the poster that you get with it. So it's kind of cool. If you choose to hang it on your wall, so that flip side does have some stuff on it. Alrighty, and that's the little poster that comes with it. Put that to the side. And now let's get to the goodness, the goodies, which are 6 Excelente vinyls of Excelente music. So let's take a look at these and see what we got. Pull these out. Get rid of that. Let's flip it over. Alright, this is your first vinyl that is in there. And this is your cover. And all the covers are pretty much the same. It's just pictures from the show. And I think that's pretty cool. That's the first side. This is the back side. And this is what songs are on the first record. And the first vinyl is called After Show. There are goofy names on here that don't really make a lot of sense. So, the records are housed in a black sleeve. No line inners like some people are doing, which was a little bit disappointing given the price of this box set. You would have thought there had been some poly sleeves in there, but no. So this is your first record. Now I probably won't show them all because basically they're the same design. This is your B side. So they're basically the same, all the records. It's a really good sounding set. This sounds excellent. I've listened to it a couple of times. It takes you a little while to go through because you have 6 finals here. It's good. It's good stuff. Sounds really good. I love it. I just love it. The guys, you can tell, are having fun. They're enjoying themselves. And the reason that I decided to do the little review on this is Jimmy Page has come out in some interviews lately talking about it's like a Sounds from Heaven. They have such a fantastic time working with the Black Crowes making this record. And you could tell when you listen to it that these guys were having fun and enjoying themselves. And to have been able to been at this concert would have been amazing. So kept hearing, I'm like, man, I should do a quick little review on that. We'll try it quick, you know how that goes. So that's your first final. We'll set that off to the side. And this is your second. And again, like I said, all these sleeves are pretty much the same. There's not a lot of difference here in these. And my thing with box sets like this is I like to take my records out of these paper sleeves that, you know, eventually are going to give you quite a bit of surface scratching, pulling them in and out. And, you know, put these in sleeve protectors because the more you handle them, there's oil on your fingers, the more you handle them, slide them around, the more they're going to scuff up and mess up. And I'm just a person who likes to keep his stuff looking good. Stuff's not cheap, so why would I buy it and just kind of throw it around the room? So this retails, by the way, the set retails for like $130. It's worth it. You can get a little bit cheaper online. I have seen like $120. And then there's postage. Some people, well, you can get free postage, so it's not bad. So whatever you want to do. I hate buying albums in the mail. This is for the second one. We'll just kind of quickly go through there. Because, like I said, it's basically the design is all the same. Vinyl 2 says After Show. There's nothing, it would have been cool had one of these been. So you have five that are the complete concert. And then you have the very last disc, which is this one here, which is called Working. This is vinyl 6. Again, you got this. It's just, it runs a theme. And this is the what do they call it? Sound check. This is sound check. And sound checks are sound checks. They sound good. You know, I've not heard a lot of sound checks where, you know, sounds like crap. But you get pretty much the full song that's on here, and they sound really good. So that's your 6 disc. And then again, we'll just kind of a quick browse here. I'm not going to all of them. That's a lot. Maybe I will. Again, I wish it came in polyline sleeves, but they don't. This one's titled Working. So the titles that are on there kind of don't make sense. I would have done like pre-show, main show, middle show, encore, you know, stuff like that. Oh, here, this is the cover. It's the way if anybody's like, I don't know if I want to buy that or not. Now you know what it looks like. I'm sure there's images online and there's probably reviews online that are, let's face it, better than mine. But, you know, it is what it is. And there you go. That's that vinyl. This one's called Pass. Not really sure why. There's just kind of goofy titles on these. We looked at 6. This is the last one we're going to look at. This is 5, which is called After Show. Yet, it's just another part of the regular concert. Alrighty. And take a look at the vinyl. Because even though we said we weren't, we looked at all of them anyway. And there's number 5 for you. Alright. So, yeah. So these things come. Only gripe I have is I got one, and I forget which one it is. Song starts out with a little bit of distortion, or no, it ends with a little bit of distortion, and you're losing volume in the song itself towards the end of the record. The place where I got it from, I did say, hey, you know, do you have another one of these? Because I've got this issue with one song just on the whole thing, and I'd rather it not be, especially at the price. and they didn't have any. It said they could order another one in. It'd be a few weeks. It wasn't a big, not a big seller in his store because of the price tag and because it's vinyl and a lot of people want CDs. So you could also buy. There's a regular standard edition, which has 2 records in it, and it's just I forget the songs, but it's just they pick songs off of here and put them on there, so you get a part of it. So that was kind of cool. I looked at that at first. It's a lot cheaper, more affordable. But man, I was like, man, I remember having these CDs and how incredible sounding these was, and I'd like to have the whole concert. So I just got some stuff together for, which ain't hard to do, for trade. Again, it's sitting there in my philosophy now. I started out when I got back into vinyl, and my wife got me a little Crosby, and I'm like, test it out, see if I really cared about vinyl the way I did, and I fell back in love with it again pretty quick, and I've upgraded. I now have a Fluence RT85. Personal opinion, but for the money. And they call it a budget turntable, and it was like $500. To me, $500 isn't a budget turntable, but it's worth the money. It's worth every single penny. And my plan is to upgrade slowly, which I haven't done yet, but I'm working on it, to another Fluence turntable, a little bit better turntable. And just because, why wouldn't I? I mean, if you've not tried their turntables, you must. They sound incredible. I've heard stuff on records that I've listened to forever and I don't remember hearing. It just sounds that good. So I really love their turntables. So there's a little sales pitch for Fluence. Check them out. Can't buy it in the store. You can only get it online, either from their website or from Amazon. And the cool thing is, I'll say this, if you get it from Amazon, sorry, I got a hair in there behind my glasses. That's driving me nuts. If you get it from Amazon, they have this a payment plan, and it's a good payment plan. You get like a year to pay it off, and you don't pay anything extra on it. So, Fluence is a fantastic turntable. There's my sales pitch, which I never really do. Alrighty, so let's go through our track listing that is on here. Alrighty, real quick. On our first vinyl, we have Celebration Day, Custard Pie, and Sick Again. Flip it over, you got No Speak, No Slave, Hard to Handle, Wonton Song, Misty Mountain Hop. Vinyl 2, Hot Song for Nowhere, What Is and What Should Never Be, Wiser Time. Flip it over, you got Mellow Down Easy, Woke Up This Morning, My Baby, She Was Gone, 10 Years Gone. Kind of cool how they put those 2 songs kind of together there. And they kind of like blend in on the record. That's kind of cool. Then you got the third vinyl, which is In My Time of Dying, which is probably my favorite, I think, Led Zeppelin song. Well, yeah, I think that's probably my favorite Led Zeppelin song. Your Time Is Gonna Come. Flip it over, you got Remedy, probably one of my top favorite Black Crow songs. The Lemon Song. And you get vinyl 4 is In the Light, Shake Your Money Maker, Sloppy Drunk Blues. Flip that one over, and you got Shape of Things, Nobody's Fault But Mine, and Heartbreaker. Put on vinyl 5, you get Bring It On Home, She Talks to Angels, Oh Well. I love that early Fleetwood Mac. Then you have the band intro that just introduced everyone, which is kind of odd to do on the last vinyl towards the end of the show. But it blends in okay. Hey, Hey, What Can I Do? Flip it over, You Shook Me, Out on the Tiles, and Whole Lot of Love. Vinyl 6 is your sound check, which sounds just as good as being in concert. No flubs, that sounded really good. You got Custard Pie, You Shook Me, The Lemon Song, Flip It Over, 10 Years Gone, and Jam. So great stuff on here, and it is great to have the Black Crowes stuff included on here with the Led Zeppelin stuff. Is this worth the spin? It certainly is. I would highly suggest that you get this. And if you can, if you have the money, or toss in a little trade somewhere, get this one. Get the deluxe edition. Don't get just a 2 record set, because you're going to be missing out on some good stuff. I kind of thought about it, and I got looking at both, and I'm like, man, there's some stuff on here I just great stuff. And over the years, I've heard some of this. Of course, it's come out. But I was like, man, I just don't want to get part. It's like in part of it. It's being in an awesome concert and you're only listening to part of it and you leave most of the time, you know. So get the box set if you can. It's certainly worth the spend. This is worth buying. If you have the money to shell out, put it out. If not, add a little trade. These guys love to get trade in because used records sell better than new records do. And that's because new records are ridiculously high. I think $130 for this set's a lot of money, but you're feeding the paychecks of some pretty big artists with this, so that kind of makes sense. Alrighty, like I said, don't have a whole lot more review on this for you, other than the fact that this is a fantastic set. I highly suggest you get it if you can. It's great, man. I love this thing, and I'd like to see him do something again. That would be nice. And it would have been nice had to release this and then maybe like include a 45 or something, you know, of a couple of new songs. You know, say, hey, we got back together since we're releasing the 25th anniversary edition of this, and did a couple of new songs just for the heck of it. You know, that would have been kind of a neat little bonus thing. But even without that, this set is so worth getting. I should have reviewed it a lot sooner, but I was kind of sticking to the Beatle thing. But we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program of the Beatles here next time. But I do want to start digging out some other records. I got some other stuff in my collection that's just, they're kind of more oddities, probably stuff some of you haven't heard, or maybe some of you might have heard a song from and like, ooh, what's that? You know, so I do want to get in some other things. But before that, there will be a John Lennon review that I am doing. I have one in a can and getting ready to do another. And that's what I was going to do besides this. And then I saw the Jimmy Page interview again this morning. I'm like, man, I really do need to do a quick review on this. So we'll be doing a John Lennon review. Just a quick breeze through his solo career and what I think of his music. And again, these videos, you know, I enjoy doing them. I hope you enjoy watching them. And these are just my opinions. I'm not educated in music. I'm not a paid reviewer. Obviously, I don't know tons and tons of stuff about, you know, background stuff. I don't look up, you know, on Google a whole bunch of facts about an album unless I really can't remember anything at all. But a lot of the stuff that I listen to, I've been listening to it forever, so I lived through it. You know, Black Crowes were, you know, in my time. Beatles stuff, some of that. Sometimes I do have to look up some of the more deeper facts because, you know, I was born in '65, so. But Crowes I was with since day one, and I always loved the Crowes, and it's just great stuff, man. So I hope you enjoy this video, and this is time for the flashy graphics, guys. Alright, stuff's not cheap, might as well use it. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Look at that. Share this video. If you think this would be of value to somebody else, feel free to share it. Invite them to check out my channel. That would be cool. But give me a like, subscribe, and you'll always know when I decide I'm going to do a video. And they're going to be a little bit more on the regular side here for a while, because I'll have some time off and I will have time to get some in the can, and that's probably much of what I'm going to do. But I'll probably do a slew of them and then save them, and then that way I can have them on a fairly decent release schedule. Alrighty, so again, Black Crowes and Jimmy Page. Excellente. Highly recommend this set. And if all you can really swing is the 2-record set, don't pass on that one either. It gives you a real good tasting of it. But I think if you do that, I think you're going to go, man, I should have found something to toss in to get that more deluxe set, because this stuff is really great. Fantastic show. Wish I could have been there, but I wasn't. So this is the second best thing. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in. Listen to whatever you want to listen to. As long as you enjoy it, that's what matters. You know, listen to it on whatever format you want. I prefer vinyl. You listen to what you want. That's up to you. I'll see you next time. Be nice to everyone. Again, I'll say there's a lot of non-nice things going on out there. So let's try to fill the world with nice things and show a little bit of love and kindness to our fellow human being. Alrighty. Enjoy your week or so until we meet again. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, guys.